Hey, good morning, good morning. It's TNS, Time and Space. Right now, I want to discuss something that's been on my mind because I follow this page called Fight for 15. So I like to read a lot of the different articles and the videos and things of that nature. And there was one in particular that came across my feed a long time ago, and it was about a guy who works at McDonald's. And I'm not sure how old he was, but it got me to thinking. Like, what would I do in that situation? Because it's one thing to look at where you are, but if I could just put myself in his shoes, how I would go about doing better. So I guess he's part of the Fight for 15 campaign. That's a whole nother discussion. But as far as what I would do, like, say if I was in my early 20s and I was working at McDonald's and I felt as though I was overworked and underpaid, first thing I would do is look into an apprenticeship program, especially if school wasn't my thing. Let's say that I had like a 1.8, 1.9, 2.0 type of GPA. School just wasn't my thing. Well, number one, if I hadn't graduated high school, I would go about doing that first and foremost. You know, I worked with a lot of people while I did adult education at a public library. So I would say definitely get your GED just to open some doors, open some opportunities for you. So even if math and school wasn't my thing, I will buckle down and study, number one. Now, mind you, I also acknowledge the fact that the rest of your life wouldn't stop. You know what I mean? I think what's challenging is that the bills don't stop, the obligations don't stop. And I'll make sure to include a screenshot of the post I'm talking about this gentleman. But you would need to do that. You would need to work extra. So that's number one. If you want to get out of a tough situation, you will need to continue doing what you're doing work-wise. But in addition to that, you'll need to invest in yourself. So I would get my GED if I didn't have it already. And or, if not that, but actually I can't even say and or, because that's a fundamental building block that you generally need unless you have an amazing business idea. So I would get my GED. I would also look into the nearest apprenticeship program. So I would look into an apprenticeship program or a pre-apprenticeship program or whatever it may be. I would look to get my hands dirty. If school wasn't my thing, I would certainly look at a trade, because in those tracks you can earn while you learn. I actually just came across one of my son's friends. I remember I would take my son to play basketball, and one of his friends he went to school with, he lived in the area, and so we would all play basketball. Actually, they went to school together, and he's now in an apprenticeship program, and I just think that's amazing. That's incredible. So I would look into that, to be honest. I wouldn't necessarily spend my time protesting for McDonald's to give me a certain wage, especially if I'm young. I have time on my side. I have a world of opportunities in front of me. Even if it seems like there are no opportunities, I can tell you that in the skilled trades, they're dying to have applicants. You know, anyone who's willing to get their hands dirty, anyone who's willing to be an electrician, an iron worker, whatever it may be. So I would definitely pursue that track. Now, what comes along with that is you may have to go to school from 6 to 9 after you worked from 9 to 6. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely acknowledge that. And I believe that's what stops a lot of people. They say, well, you know what, I'll just protest for more money where I am because I don't want to have to do extra. You know what I mean? If I'm already paying bills, if I already have children, if I already have a family, I understand those dynamics. However, I would say that you would be more likely to make headway doing that extra work now. Hey, good morning. How are you? Empress Mona Lisa, good to see you. I'm just talking about what I would do in a situation if I were working fast food and needed to improve my situation. So I would definitely put in the extra work. If I had a business idea, it's the same thing. So people might balk at the idea of going to school from 6 to 9, but you would also have to spend time on your business from 6 to 9 or 6 to 10 or outside of your working hours. So it's the same principle. And I believe that people get that confused a lot of times. You know what I mean? People just say, well, I deserve X amount of money, you know, doing fast food, but we have to invest in ourselves. That's actually what the morning motivation is about. And it will take extra time. It will take extra effort. And you will have to be uncomfortable for a while. That's just the facts of it. Whichever path you choose, if you're an adult student, for example, and you go to college at night, that's going to involve extra work. And that was my life. That was my life. I had to do that from 2013 to 2016. That was my life. You know, days would start at 5 or 6 a.m. and they would end at like 10 p.m. So definitely invest in yourself, and that's what I would advise that person who's working in fast food, or maybe if you're working in retail and you don't like what you're doing. I would even say that if you're an older person, it wouldn't even be restricted to age. I would say that you're going to have to put in some extra time to improve your skills in whichever way that is, whether it's investing in your business, whether it's investing in yourself, whether it's investing in your physical fitness, your health, whatever it is, it's just going to take more. If you want more, you have to do more. That's really what it boils down to. And a lot of people believe that doing more is just demanding to be paid more for a position that everyone can do, to be honest. You know what I mean? There's no shortage of workers or people who are able to do that sort of work. So it's difficult for you to demand a higher value when the supply is up. You know, now as far as if it's a skilled trade, there's a lower supply, so there will be a greater demand. If you look around, I need someone who's an electrician more than I would need someone who could be a team member at McDonald's. And that's no shade whatsoever. That's just the reality. That's just the reality of the situation. So in closing, I will say that if I were in that boat, if I were working fast food, if I were working in the service industry, in retail, I would just accept the fact that I'm probably going to have to invest in myself after work. Actually, not probably, you would. Because you're still going to have to go to work. That doesn't stop. But I would have to accept the fact that I'm going to have to do extra to have extra. So that's about it. Thank you so much for joining the live. I appreciate it. I'll be doing this every morning. I need to generate content for my YouTube channel. And also, if you haven't already, I'm going to make sure to comment. If you haven't subscribed, I'm going to put my channel. Let me just go ahead and type it in. This is the name of my YouTube channel. So I'm not going to put the link because it's not a hyperlink anyway. But if this sounds interesting at all, that is my channel, Talk and Scroll. Talk and Scroll on YouTube. I'm looking to grow that channel. I'm looking to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 132 right now, so I'm making my way. And I just want to make sure to include this. So thank you so much for joining me. This has been TNS Time and Space. This will be posted on Talk and Scroll. Have a wonderful day. Take it easy.